Hi, it's Dr. Betsy Greenleaf, and I'm here with another episode of Body, Mind, Spirit. I'm so excited because we're going to be talking with Amy Holmwood today. And boy, she's got a product that's coming out that I just can't wait to get my hands on. So thank you for joining us here today, Amy.
I'm thrilled to be here, Dr. Betsy. So happy that you asked me to join you.
So, Amy is the founder of Holistic Spirits. So, first of all, tell me, what is it that you do and how did you get into it?
Well, I've kind of been a lifetime health advocate because I've had some health issues. I pivoted into the wellness space when I was 50 years old. Prior to that, I was a financial advisor, working for 25 years in a sort of a high stress environment. And I ended up having some health issues and looked at what could I do with all the knowledge I learned about healing naturally. And so I ended up looking at innovation in some different areas and categories that really haven't been disrupted yet. And one of them is in the spirits sector. And so I can't wait to share with you, what I'm doing with Holistic Spirits Company and what we're all about.
Yeah, that's actually interesting, and we'll just let's just jump into it. What is this product that you have coming out?
Well, when you think about what people want in the world today, it's really better things that are cleaner, that are better for your body, better for your mind, body, and spirit, and your soul, like this program that you're running. And also, they want to have something that is more sustainably made that's better for the earth as well. So, as a health conscious consumer, I was looking for cleaner alcohol. And frankly, I didn't see anything on the market except for like kombuchas and maybe some cleaner wines. There are some companies out there that are growing more sustainably made organic wines and things like that. On the spirit side, there really hasn't been much innovation, but for just craft and smaller, more, family farms and things like that, family spirit companies. And I have a background in plant science. And I also am very knowledgeable about how something called nutrigenomics, where plants and dietary compounds can change the expression of genes. And this is something that I've been really intrigued and interested in for a long time because I did have some health issues that I needed to learn about my body and my own genomics and my epigenetics. And so I used that same science to develop a natural vodka product that's under the umbrella of the Holistic Spirits Company. The product's called Origen Holistic Spirits, Origen. The origin is the beginning of something new for the next generation of consumers in the alcohol space that want something better. And we were able to, over a 3-year period, develop a product that reduces some of the negative effects associated with alcohol. So we have to be very careful. I know you're a doctor, and I have a master's in biotechnology enterprise from Johns Hopkins, and all the compliance around just what we can and can't say makes it really hard to talk about the health benefits of any kind of alcohol product. But what I know is that we did the research, we filed a patent, and we have proof definitively that this product changes the expression of genes in a good way to be able to have your body go into that detoxification immediately upon consumption. When you consume alcohol, it immediately starts metabolizing the minute it hits your mouth. Your body just wants to burn that up and just metabolize that. And so we've been able to create something that provides a better metabolism of alcohol. And it's really exciting because we're kind of the first company in this space that is pioneering this. So I'm so excited to share it with you, and I can't wait to send you a sample.
There's so many things that I want to ask you, and I don't even know where to start. Maybe we'll start back up with the whole idea of nutrigenomics because this is something that I myself have just kind of gotten into in the last few years because I remember when I was going through biology training and I at one point I was actually going to do a PhD in genetics and got into medical school instead. But I remember when I went through school, it was you were born with your genes and that's what you have. And if you had a gene for some like cancer, you had a gene for some horrible medical condition, it was like you're screwed. That is what's happening. But now science has changed and they realize that just because you have the genes for something, that doesn't mean you're going to express or turn on those genes. And that has been absolutely amazing thing for me to realize.
Me
So,
too. Me too, Betsy. There's a lot of testing that can be done so people can learn what pathways in their bodies may have some mutations or things like methylation mutations and things for the body's inability to detoxify as well as it could. But there are things you can do to change those expressions. And so that's where it's your body literally is like a computer system. It's a program. It's all going to go into a certain program with whatever the input is going to have an output. Same thing with alcohol. And so the challenge with really even food and food sciences is the way your body metabolizes things, right? And so everyone's a little bit different. And often, even in the supplement business, like when you look at what supplements can do to change expression of genes, and there are supplements that do that now. But it's you're taking that supplement separate from your actual experience of what we call oxidative stress, right? Your body's having free radical damage just from breathing in air and having pollution and chemicals and all these things that our body is going through. And then you take a supplement and you kind of hope that it all works at the same time, right? When is it metabolizing and is it really doing its job? You can now show there are some supplements that can really prove out that they actually do change the expression of genes. So I really encourage people to learn about a little bit more about that. So what's interesting about what we did is we were able to put those phytoplants and those plant compounds in alcohol and have them stabilize, which was really not easy to do, to find which ones would. And that you're ingesting the toxin at the same time that you're ingesting the polyphenols, the catechins, the good guys at the same time in the same product. So this is where we have a very powerful story that we know that it's metabolizing it at the same time. And so this is where we have some really exciting results through our testing on different pathways in the body that your body is going to be able to upregulate while you're consuming the alcohol, like through it for 24 hours. You can see like how that is going to be metabolized. So it's really cool. And it's exciting that this is a new area, even just nutrigenomics in general. Betsy, like you said, you're really in the health space and we're all just, it's a new frontier, right? That we're discovering. And it's very exciting. And I think you're going to see a lot of innovation in the next 10 years in this particular area.
and I think there's been so many like options. I would say in the last like 5-10 years or so of like just living healthier, and this is like a great option. The history of alcohol in general, and I found this fascinating that beverages have pretty much been around as long as we have been around. The
Yes.
first evidence that they actually found of specifically of alcohol like beverages dates back all the way to like 5,400 BC in Iran.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
like, wow, that is a long time ago. So, like, talk about innovation. I mean, this is something that's been around forever.
It has. I mean, the Mesopotamians, right? So you're
Yeah.
going right back. That's part of our PR campaign is like since the dawn of the Mesopotamians and innovation. Certainly, there's been cleaner innovation, distillation that gets rid of a lot of like the bad stuff. Certainly today, there's pesticides, herbicides, all the stuff that's grown. That the alcohol, it's made from plants and wheat and corn and a lot of GMOs, unfortunately. So we're looking at an organic product, which we're excited to be able to try to, get that organic certification. Not easy to do. When you learn about this stuff, it's interesting. But yeah, so the innovation really hasn't been there. But for craft beers and lower calorie content, maybe organic. But as far as like taking alcohol and being able to stabilize ingredients in there that may work in your favor hasn't been anything that's been done. At least nothing's come to market successfully that's tried to do that. And I think one of the big challenges is that we can't make any claims, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a very highly regulated system called the TTB, which is the tobacco, firearms, alcohol are all under this one umbrella. And then the FDA kind of oversees what can and can't be said. So that's where we're going to have to educate people in a way that we can be compliant. But people know a lot more about plants, and they know about some of the ingredients that we're using: elderberry extract, green tea, some beautiful phyto plants that are very beneficial for liver health. So if people kind of connect the dots on their own, I think we'll be able to at least get those already health activated consumers to be interested in our product without having to read um, anything on a label that might make a claim. So this is what we're hoping for.
I agree. It's so hard because I'm actually looking into this because I'm coming out with my own supplement line. And it's like, as a doctor, I can sit in an office and tell patients the truth about the supplements that I'm going to be recommending. These are just pretty much ones I recommend that I'm going to be, creating myself. But I can tell them, like, this is what this ingredient does. But I know once you come out as a company, you can't say that especially with supplements or even like, alcohol or anything you consume, you can't say it was the FDA. It's like, this product does not treat, like, cure,
Right.
diagnose.
Yes.
Like, you can't say
Ex-
anything. So,
exactly. Yeah. And with alcohol, you can't even say this is not intended to treat, cure, heal, mitigate it. We can't, there's nothing like that. There's nothing discussed. You don't have to say what's in the product. The labeling is totally different than the
oh yeah.
requirements of like a supplement. So it's kind of like the Wild West in a sense that people don't know what they're drinking. They spend money, they go to Whole Foods, they buy organic this, they get everything so clean, and then they go to the store and they buy GMO, Monsanto, corn, crap, hybridized wheat, all kinds of genetically modified stuff. They don't even know what they're buying because there's nothing on a label. So it's there's going to be a lot of changes and a lot more information that's going to be able to be available to consumers in this area. And I'm excited about being a company. I don't want to poo-poo anybody and get people mad at us, but we're going to educate people on really what the options are that are out there and why we may be a better way to drink. And this is what one of our taglines.
And that's something recently I came across information just about wine. I haven't looked into other spirits, but wine. And it was like in the United States, something like between 70 and 80, like, chemicals that are known to, like, cause harm in humans that are allowed to exist in wine in, like, certain levels. And I'm like,
Yes,
what? Like,
absolutely.
and for the longest time, I mean, you don't have ingredients. Like, I think there's some companies on alcoholic beverages have started to put ingredients on there, but, like, most of the time you get a beer or wine and you're just like, oh, what is even in this?
Exactly.
So,
And there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff you don't want in there, you guys. Caramel coloring, maltodextrin, all kinds of stabilizers in the wine sector, certainly in Europe, in some of the French wines and some of the wines, throughout the world, they can't even use these kind of chemicals in their wines. And the spirits, there are additives in those as well. We do not add any excipients. There is nothing in Origen Holistic Spirits that isn't a plant, and nothing's been genetically modified. So it's really something that people need to know about.
that is great. I can't wait to ask you some more questions when we come back from the commercial break. 80% of women will develop a pelvic health condition at some point in their lives. There is relief. There is hope. The Pelvic Floor Store, your resource for personal health. All right, and we are back with Amy Holmwood. So, Amy, we were talking a little bit at the break, and I wanted to kind of pick your brain because I know that you are like an expert in things like oxidative stress. And so, first of all, can you explain to people what oxidative stress is?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. The center of the universe of potential diseases in the human body are all caused by oxidative stress, which is really a rusting of the human body. So as we're breathing in air, right, we're oxidizing, just like if you left a bicycle outside and it rusts, right, because of the wind and the air and the rain and all the oxidation. And this is leave an apple outside out, cut it in half, turns brown. That's happening inside of our body. It's called oxidative stress. And as we get older, our body has a more limited ability to neutralize that oxidation naturally, right? On its own. Our body has the ability to do that up until we're like fully grown to about 20 years old because we're making our skin and our bones and our organs and all these fabulous things to grow to a human adult. And then right when you get to that age 20, right around that spigot, if you will, of your body being able to turn on its own antioxidants to reduce oxidative stress starts to close. This is why you start to age and you're getting, this and that arthritis. And as you get older, your body, that spigot just goes smaller and smaller and tighter. And so your body just doesn't have the ability on its own to activate its own pathways, which are these endogenous antioxidants that our body makes on its own, which it does when it's under stress to try to protect itself from oxidative stress or any diseases and things like that. So we want to be able to turn on those pathways as we age through food and dietary compounds that can change the expression of genes to reactivate that spigot and turn that thing back open again to be able to have our body neutralize free radicals that cause the oxidative stress. And so this is where science today with activating supplements, things that activate pathways, are super, super important for people to learn about because they can do a better job with their supplementation if they just knew what to take and why they were taking it. And I'm excited to hear about some of this stuff at some point, the supplement line that you're developing, because I'm sure you have all this in mind as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know what? I was thinking about it. So like I like to think about like these foods, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I like to think about these foods and like supplements and like herbs, especially a lot of herbs that are out there that stimulate these kind of enzymes in our body that almost act like Pac-Man. Like that's how I picture them
Yes.
in my mind, like Pac-Man. These enzymes just are going up and they're eating all those little free radicals that are causing that oxidative stress.
I think the most familiar compounds are going to be like the cruciferous, right? Cruciferous vegetables, the broccolis, the cauliflowers, the alliums, onions, and garlic, and then you've got these beautiful plants and fruits and things like that also have some of these very powerful polyphenols in them that neutralize free radicals. But the bottom line, you guys, this is what I learned the hard way with having Lyme disease for almost 25 years, was that your body, if you can get your body to turn on antioxidants naturally, not by taking them, but having your body make the antioxidants, they're millions of times more powerful at neutralizing free radicals. So rather than taking all these goji berries and blueberries and all of these things that we're doing, which are awesome, keep eating those. I do. All your cruciferous vegetables. But again, that's not going to be as powerful as if you activate those pathways. And that's really what you were just referring to, is getting those little Pac-Men turned on at a million times more than your blueberries and your goji berries and things like that. So yeah, it's super exciting.
You know, I was going to say, like, maybe we should even just mention the pathway that kind of controls this in the body, because as people get familiar with the names of the pathways, these are things that they can start looking for, out there, because the science on this is kind of exploding. So,
It is. Yeah, one of the main pathways is called NRF2. And so NRF2 is the most important messenger protein to turn on the body's ability to make some of these key enzymes. Those key enzymes are something called SOD, superoxide dismutase. Superoxide dismutase is what squelches superoxide, which is the free radicals in your body. And so if we can get that superoxide dismutase turned on, that just is that Pac-Man. And then there are other pathways as well this is a new frontier. We know for sure, like catalase. That's something we're pretty excited about activating with our Origen Holistic Spirits, because that's really important in alcohol metabolism. Glutathione, which is that most important molecule to do everything to detoxify in the body, right? So let's activate glutathione reductase. Like there's different types of enzymes, and this whole thing is a computer system that if we just do certain things, you guys, like you said, Betsy, today, like gone are the days where we thought we're stuck with cardiovascular and cancer and all these terrible things that we inherited from our ancestors. We can control 95% approximately of the gene activation and expression through food, nutrition, exercise, meditation, all the biohacking things that you and I are totally into. We can control that 95%. So why not do that? And why not do it with our drinks as well when we consume alcohol?
I just think that is absolutely amazing. And bringing up the thing about glutathione, because that's become very popular in the health space. And I see so many of my patients that come in and they're taking it orally as a supplement. And unfortunately, that's one of those things, like, there are a lot of supplements out there, but this is one of those things where we really don't absorb it through our gut. So I tell people you're really kind of just throwing your money away. You can take it all you want,
Right.
but it's just really not going to absorb very well in the intestines. But that is something through other types of supplements. And who knows? I'm not saying you're alcohol, but maybe I don't know that we could stimulate it in the
Yeah,
body. So
exactly. And
yeah.
that's just it. That's really the key, is that stimulation of your body activating glutathione, and it's downstream glutathione reductase. There's several different pathways of glutathione, but basically that's really important for alcohol metabolism. So we looked at that and we've studied that, and we are excited to say that, we can't make claims, but through our research that we've done, we have 3 different teams of PhDs that worked on this, from food scientists to microbiome specialists, that we were able to look at these different pathways that are activated when you consume alcohol, and what can we do to make those activate more, right? Because the body's going to automatically do that when it gets toxins. But like I said, when you get older, especially with women have a really hard time metabolizing alcohol.
Mm.
And I think that that's something that's pretty well known. And a lot of women just stop drinking because it just feels so crappy the next day, right? So we're hoping to be able to provide a solution for women that is just going to be able to have them have the enhanced benefits of having a nice cocktail without having the hangover the next day.
That is nice too. I'm unfortunately a super lightweight. Like I like the taste of alcohol, but I'm one of those people like I have one drink and I'm already like halfway under
Right.
the table. So, yeah, so it'll be but that's from drinking regular alcohol. I'll be curious to see what happens with your product. So, and now I do want to just bring up, I'm not, I'm so excited about your product. Of course, I'm not saying like, okay, everybody go out, buy this, and don't drink any other fluids other than the vodka. I
Right.
mean, there's everything in moderation, because you could eat like 20 pounds of broccoli and that's bad for you. Like the healthiest thing in the world, if you do it to an extreme, it's going to be bad for you. So, like, and especially with alcohol, everything in moderation. But if you're going to drink, why not go for something that is healthy and supportive of your system, and that your body doesn't have to fight and cause inflammation and cause other like toxicities. So, yeah.
You are singing my praises. This is our goal, and why not? Like, why not give people something better? And so it can be done, Betsy. That's the part. This industry is so big. It's hard. You know how hard innovation is for large companies.
Yeah.
So a lot of these bigger brands are buying up companies, smaller companies that are innovating. There's so much innovation happening throughout the world, just in the health space in general. So we're just excited to be a part of that. And over time, I believe that we will be able to say more about the benefits of things like having, a couple of drinks. We know for sure, you can read peer-reviewed research. It talks about the enhanced benefits of cardiovascular disease, even potentially reducing diabetes symptoms and things like that. Also brain function and people that have potentially Alzheimer's and things. Like, it's really interesting. There's some science around the relaxation benefits and things of the enhancements of, a modest amount of alcohol. And that's why, going back to the beginning and when it was developed, hundreds of thousands, whatever, how many millions of years ago, not millions, but anyway. Uh,
It seems
uh,
like it when you look at those
yeah,
numbers.
exactly. But people have been using it for beneficial purposes, right? Health benefits. And so elixirs. And then until we got the FDA to say, no, you can't say anything about any of this stuff, right? So we hope there's a day that will come that people can be able to learn more about these things in a compliant way. But listen, do your research, learn about Origen Holistic Spirits, and we'll be sharing peer-reviewed research, and we'll be having other publications write about us. That's one of the things we're doing, and that'll be really helpful to kind of have people be able to connect the dots without us being able to, necessarily tell the whole story.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, even from like a body, mind, spirit standpoint, a lot of times as a physician, I get so focused on the body, but talking about mind and spirit, with no pun intended, with the spirits here, is that there's so many like cultural and community kind of that's developed around the drinking of
Right.
alcohol. So this is something too that, it's part of ceremonies. It's part of, getting together with friends, getting together with family. So that also adds to like the body, the mind spirit aspect of health.
Right,
So
totally.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's really our focus, our target is helping giving people options that want to improve their mind, body, and spirit. So I just want to say thank you so much for having me on today. I'm really excited to teach people about this and to be a resource for you, whatever I can do to give you guys more information over time. Happy to do it again.
And where can people find out about you and your product?
So they can go to holisticspiritsco.com. That website will be live by probably April 5th, I'm going to say 2022. I hate to put dates in these things. But yeah, so we're just almost finalizing our website, and then it'll be direct to consumer. We started in four states: California, New York, New Jersey, and
Oh, yay,
well,
New
and
Jersey!
Florida. Yay, and
Yay!
Florida. So
I
those
was
are the four
trying to figure out
states.
how soon I could buy some.
Right. Well, within 6 months, we should be able to be in more states, and go onto the website, learn about our community. We also have great recipes, and also really about nutritious food, because that's something I'm very passionate about. So we're going to be doing all kinds of education with food and how to pair it with drinks, and wonderful ways to have parties and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Amy, for being with us. I just want to tell everybody go check out her website. Also, when you're there, don't forget to check out the WYTV7.org website. Look at all our other amazing programming. While you're there, don't forget to hit the donate button, because every dollar that you send helps us not only with amazing program like this today, but also with our community events and all of our scholarships. So make sure you help out there. And don't forget to tune in next week to another episode of Body, Mind, Spirit. I'm Dr. Betsy Greenleaf. Thanks. Have a great day.